this video, we're going to be briefly going over how to import data into your ThunderPOS database from a spreadsheet through the ThunderPOS.net site. So we're going to take a look here. We're logged into ThunderPOS, and we are going to go under Items here to Spreadsheet Import, or you can go through Items here and then Data Sources and then User Import. So then we just choose the file that we want to do. I'm just going to grab a Excel file. You can do a Excel file, you can do a tab delimited text file, you can do a comma separated values file. Those are the types of files that can work. You can import to a number of different tables. So we're going to do items here, but you could do customers, departments, categories, vendors, gift cards, and you can actually do item condition overrides. That's if you have existing items and you want to add conditional override pricing to that. But we're going to select to upload this file. It's going to take us to a page where we need to map the fields. So there's a couple of options here at the top. Number one, you can update existing items or not. If you do not update existing items, then anything that you already have in by that primary ID will be discarded, and you'll get an error in the final report saying that that item was ignored in the spreadsheet. And then you will also have an option here for automatically truncate non-key fields. It won't truncate the item ID in the case of items, but name or anything else. If you've got one that's too long, then if you check this, it's going to just cut it off where it has to in order for it to work with our data. If you don't check that, it's going to reject the row. So, if you don't check that, then anything that you've got that's too long, it'll just tell you you can't use that. So depending on your preferences, you'll check one or both of those. And then, depending on what you're importing into, items has the most. You've got every field here, and then it will show you every field in your spreadsheet, which the first row of your spreadsheet should be a header row that you label. The labels do not have to be, this particular spreadsheet I used as an export from our system, so it's got the columns by the same names. It actually does not have to be the same names. You can map it up to however you want, but you do have to map the required fields. So in the case of items, anytime you want to import a spreadsheet, you have to have the title, which is the name, and you have to have the item ID. Any other column, if you don't use it, if it's doing an update to an item, then it will leave it alone. If it's creating a new item, it's going to use whatever the default value is for that. So, you can say don't use, and it won't use anything in the spreadsheet for that. Now, you can actually use the same column multiple times. For example, if you're importing from a vendor, you may choose to import their price both as MSRP and new price as one example that comes up a lot. But basically, you're just going to go through this whole list. I'm not going to actually do this one. You're going to go through this whole list here. You're going to map up all the columns you want to use from your spreadsheet. And at the end, you just hit continue. So, if we choose to do that, which again, I'm not going to initiate one here, then it will, you'll continue, and it will tell you it has started the process. And then at the end of that process, once it's finished importing, which depending on your size of your spreadsheet may be very quickly, or it might take, even up to an hour or so, depending on just how large your spreadsheet is. Then you'll get an email sent to the email address that you log in with telling you that it's completed, telling you any rows that were errors, either because you tried to create an item that already exists, you had an invalid item ID, it needed to truncate and you left that off, anything like that. You'll get a row by row report of what got rejected, and then you'll be able to decide what to do from there. But any items that were successful will be brought in and updated in your system and exist. And this can be a great way to move in data from another system. You can do updates to your inventory by exporting data from the system and modifying it within like a spreadsheet program if you're wanting to do something that's a little more complicated than what like global changes allows for. Any kind of formula based updating, that can be very useful for that. So this can be a very powerful feature. It is something that is restricted to administrators only because it is a little bit dangerous. Obviously, you're writing directly to your tables, and so you will be able to, very rapidly change a great many things. And for that reason, it is limited only to your administrators in your system. Um, but that's it. That's what we're going to go over here today. If you have any questions, reach out to us on this. But this is a very strong and powerful tool for you to use for managing your system.